Hello everyone, I'm in Chinatown, which is located in downtown Los Angeles, and we're actually about maybe a half mile north of the downtown Los Angeles area. And this street right here is Broadway, and Chinatown is fairly large. It's about maybe 3 to 4 square miles, and this is just one small part of it here off of Broadway. And because of the COVID-19, quite a few of the shops are still closed, and there still are some street vendors that are open, however. And this part of Chinatown, this would actually be considered the new Chinatown. Just to give some history, after the old Chinatown was demolished to make way for the Union Station in 1933. And Union Station, that's the train station for downtown Los Angeles. That would be maybe about a half mile to a mile east of here, and you really can't see it with all these buildings. But so the old Chinatown was torn down in 1933 to make way for Union Station, and there was actually what would have been a third Chinatown, which was called China City, and was built next to Olvera Street in the 1930s by Christine Sperling, who worked as a public activist and is also credited for helping save Olvera Street. However, that China City was thought to be too Hollywood inspired by many of the Chinese people, and was subsequently destroyed by 2 suspicious fires, and was closed permanently. And so China City, that would have been, Olvera Street is about maybe a half mile to the southeast of here. And so it's not too far, just maybe a couple blocks. And so after the China City burned down, I believe that would have been in the 1930s, most of the displaced residents of the destroyed China City relocated up the street to what is now the present day Chinatown here. And today Chinatown is home to approximately 20,000 residents, most of whom are Chinese. And one surprising thing about Chinatown is most of the residents are not as well off as you would think. A census survey from 2010 shows that the median household income in Chinatown was $29,000, which was actually the third lowest in Los Angeles County, and that's after the city of Watts, which was $28,000, and the downtown Los Angeles Skid Row area, which is showing up as $24,000. I'm not sure how correct that is about the Skid Row. I think that the 24,000, I think Skid Row would be lower than that, but anyway, the median income of $29,000, even in 2010 dollars, is still rather low. And as I was saying, there are still some street vendors that are open on this side of the street. At least they just have some produce stands set up, and quite a few of the restaurants and businesses, like the ones across the street, they're still closed down because of the COVID-19 virus. And here's some fruit stands here. And more fruit stands. And there's also a shop here. They sell hats and suitcase and various items. In some ways similar to what you would find on Olvera Street or other parts of downtown LA, but it does have more of an Asian theme to it. Most of these stores, like here, this next one here, got sandals and of course broomsticks, and then a lot of hats, and they even sell some plants. So you might not find that in downtown Los Angeles. And one thing that I found about even these fruit stands is you still got to be a little bit careful, because I tried to buy like some grapes earlier this afternoon, and the ones that I wanted, they didn't want to sell me, but they had some further back in their store, and they were kind of a little bit too ripe. So you know, you got to kind of haggle with the price a little bit, and they might, I mean, I'm not sure if it was, you know, I mean, getting scammed for grapes, but I just wasn't interested in the sour grapes, so I just went to a different stand. And here's a Hoi Young Company fish market. Not sure if I pronounced the name of the business correctly, and but they smells very fishy in here. Looks like they got some lobsters and all kinds of other seafood in here. See, they got jackfish, catfish, whole bunch of other seafood, and it looks like it's all basically served raw. They don't cook it here. And here's some more outdoor market area stands, more hats. And Chinatown has a whole bunch of these outdoor plaza areas, but because of the COVID-19, even the outdoor stands, surprisingly, are mostly closed. So there's not as much to see as there would be. But it's still interesting to walk through here. But when you just get like block after block of closed businesses like this, I guess that does kind of take away the fun of coming up here. Here's another Chinese store. This one looks like it's Chinese noodles and herbs and various other Chinese food. And I'm still walking up Broadway, but just looking back, this gives you a little bit better of an idea of where Chinatown is located in comparison to downtown Los Angeles. That large building there would be the Los Angeles City Hall, and I'm still walking up Broadway Street here to the Central Plaza, and most of these retail stores here are closed. Maybe like 1 out of 10 is still open, and here's one that sells it's like various Chinese literature and I don't know what you would call this, not party accessories, I guess just Chinese knickknacks. Anyhow, continuing on, and across the street looks like a few of the stores are open. There's a bakery over there. It's called Queen's Bakery, and the next business looks like a nursery, and they sell Chinese themed plants. And there's a few restaurants. That one's called Yang Chow. And here's a jewelry market. This is called Broadway Jewelry Market. And I'm not sure if it's really necessary to walk in here because it seems like quite a few of the stores are closed. But looks like there might be a few open jewelry stores here. And I'm just crossing Broadway Street here, and it looks like across the street there's a Plum Tree Inn. Looks like a motel, and that looks to be closed, along with all these other little shops over here. This was a Judy's gift store, and here's a travel agency called Dynasty World Travel. Or actually, that was my mistake. That's actually a restaurant, though it does say Plum Tree Inn, but then at the bottom it says Chinese restaurant. So it does not look like this is a motel, but I don't know. I guess it could be both. I mean, it does say Plum Tree Inn and then Chinese restaurant on the bottom. So continuing on, this looks to be an interesting Chinese landmark here, and see if it identifies what this building is. Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association of Los Angeles, established in 1889, and that building is closed as well. And then across the street there's some more modern buildings, and it looks like the bottom they have a few retail stores and a bank and condos on top. And this building looks to be empty, just a for lease sign on it. And it looks like I'm getting closer to the Central Plaza area here. And then across the street, looks like there's some new construction there, more retail shops. And this would be the Central Plaza in Chinatown, and it looks to be just a plaza of retail and restaurants. And here's a bakery. This one's called Wonder Bakery, and looks like it's closed today, or looks like it closed about a half hour ago. It says closes at 4 p.m. So I'm here a little bit later. But in the center of the plaza, they have this statue, and it says Dr. Sun Yat-sen, founding father of the Republic of China, was born on November 12, 1866. One of the greatest figures in China's long history. He not only gave the Republic its physical being, but also provided the nation with the three principles of the people as guidance in its reconstruction. So that would be the statue of the founder of China there. And it looks like most of these retail stores and restaurants are closed. This one looks like it's a art store, and it's completely closed. But the one business that does look open is a hamburger store over here. This one's called Chinatown's #1 hamburger, and not sure how hamburgers and Chinatown quite go together, but the business, that one is still open, and looks like it This corridor kind of branches off over here, and looks like there's, let's see here, there's a jazz club and a Grand Star bar, and it looks like both the jazz club and bar are pretty much closed up. And it looks like there's also a taco house down that corridor as well, and that looks to be pretty much closed as well. So there's a mix of restaurants. I guess not all of them are Chinese, but the decorations are pretty cool. They have these lights overhead, and let me check out the rest of the plaza area here. This business is called Realm, and it says Art Salon Chinatown. It's like just a statue. You can't really see much else in the lobby of that business. And this is called China Ware, but there's just nothing in there except some tree logs. And here's a gift shop. All these stores are just completely closed. Here's one over to the left that is still open. And this looks like a gift shop and a basically a general merchandise store. And here's some more closed stores on the right. Wearing Apparel and a Phoenix Imports. Not a whole lot else to see up this way. Pretty much everything else is just closed. Looks like to the right was a restaurant, a K&A company, Chinese restaurant. And looks like this is the last store here. Not even sure what that is in the Chinatown Plaza. And now I am on to Hill Street here. And let's see what the sign says. West Plaza area across the street. Not even sure if it's even worthwhile to walk across the street. It looks pretty much closed up there as well, and it looks to be quite a bit smaller than the plaza that I was just in. And from this vantage point, you get a little bit better idea. There's downtown Los Angeles off in the distance. It's actually not as far as it looks, maybe about 1.5 miles away. And up Hill Street here, doesn't look like it's completely the end of Chinatown. There's just some more retail businesses and restaurants. There's a Chinese bookstore across the street called Enlightened Books, and looks like bookstore looks to be closed. But next to the bookstore, there's a restaurant called Full House Seafood, and the sign on that does say open. But even the restaurants that are open, they're just open for takeout, basically. And it looks like up Hill Street here, that would be the 110 freeway up there. So just about to the end of this part of Chinatown. It looks like they're having a graffiti problem too. Some of these stores that have been closed because of the COVID-19, they're getting kind of people writing their dumbass graffiti on their windows, and some more of that going on over here as well. This looks like a retail business area that this is just completely empty. I'm not sure if that's being remodeled or what the story is with that. And getting back on the Hill Street. And it looks like this is pretty much the end of Chinatown on Hill Street. And looks like that will conclude our tour today. Thank you. And I'm just walking back to Union Station. I'm still technically in Chinatown here. I'm on Cesar E. Chavez Boulevard. And basically I just wanted to kind of show everyone it's a little bit rough part of town, just maybe basically a block or two from the main part of Chinatown. And basically there's just a lot of homeless people, and it's pretty much always been like that. The closer you get to downtown Los Angeles, and Chinatown basically is in downtown Los Angeles, so kind of just be prepared for that. And there's basically always been homeless people here, but I think the problem is a little bit worse now, just with the COVID virus and the employment situation kind of being what it is. And also in the last maybe 2-3 years, the courts, not just in California, but even the federal courts, have basically said it's not a crime to sleep on the sidewalk. So there's really nothing the police can do, as apparently they're not really breaking any laws. Just this guy's got a generator going, but there's really nothing the police can do. And downtown Los Angeles has kind of been a spot for homeless people for quite some time. It actually dates back well into the early 1900s, but just wanted to say, just be prepared for that. I'm just walking over to Union Station over here. Here's Olvera Street to the right, and they have a bus that goes straight from Union Station to the LAX airport. And right now the hotels over by the airport are quite a bit cheaper than the ones in downtown Los Angeles, so I'm staying there. And this is Olvera Street over here to the right. But it gets a little bit sketchy here at night, so just want to keep a little bit more of an eye out.